we can talk now to Chris Philp. Thank you for being with us. I spoke to Heidi Alexander earlier on the programme. She was very keen to say that trains are safe. They are low-crime environments, as she puts it. What's your take on the lessons we should learn?
Well, first of all, our thoughts, obviously, are with the victims' families and with the emergency services who responded so bravely, and the train staff and members of the public who responded bravely as well in preventing what could have been an even worse atrocity. So I think our thought should be foremost with them. Look, in terms of the public safety question more generally, the truth is there are around about 250 knife-enabled murders each year. There are something like 50,000 knife offences committed. Now, those did come down under the last government, but they're still, frankly, too high, and we need to do a lot more, both in a train environment but also in society more widely. So I would like to see intense surge hotspot policing in high crime areas. The top 5% of neighbourhoods for crime, which often include train stations, represent a quarter of all crime. So intense surge policing in those areas is the first thing we need. Secondly, we need to use more technology, things like live facial recognition to identify wanted criminals as they wander around, including as they go through train stations so they can be arrested. We've tried that in Croydon, the borough that I represent in Parliament, that has led to the arrest of about 200 wanted criminals in the last year, and crime in Croydon town centre, including around East Croydon station, has gone down. Knife scanning technology is being developed, but we also need more stop and search as well, because stop and search takes knives off the streets, and left-wing politicians like Sadiq Khan in London are being squeamish about stop and search. It's gone down in London. Knife crime in London has gone up as a result, and it's putting Londoners at risk. I
mean, there's a couple of things to kind of unpick there. Firstly, I'm not sure that you say that knife crime's gone down under the last government, but I mean, I don't want to get in a massive row about stats, but like my data that I've been looking at shows knife crime having a rise since 2011 and also a rise since 2014. So actually, I'm not sure what stats you're looking at, but that's not the data that I seem to be seeing, that actually that knife crime went up over the last decade.
Well, if you look at things like hospital admissions data for people who've received a knife injury, which is one of the best measures of knife crime, because if people get stabbed, they will go to hospital. For the last 5 years, that was going down.
Remind me, how long have the Conservatives been in power?
Well, they were in power.
It was more than 5 years, wasn't it?
It was more than 5 years, and overall
I think I've
crime.
got history that wrong.
Overall crime.
You can't select. Hang on. No. I'm not having this.
Well, let's talk about 2010 then.
You can't select some NHS data from the last 5 years and use it to say that knife crime went down under the Conservatives.
Well, OK, homicide.
Doesn't work.
Well, OK, since 2010, if you want to take 2010, homicide went down significantly.
Sorry, we're talking about knife crime. You brought up knife crime.
Well, the point
about homicides, we're talking about knife crime, and I don't believe you're right that it's gone down under the Conservatives.
Overall crime went down, homicide went down, and knife crime went down over the last 5 years. But anyway, the point I was making was a different one, which is it's still too high. Right, 250 murders a year using knives, that is still too high, and that is why we need an even tougher response. Surge policing, the use of technology like live facial recognition, and an increase in stop and search to reduce those figures further, because even one murder using a knife is one murder too many.
It was interesting to see the police revealing the race and nationality of the suspect pretty much immediately. Black man born in Britain. Are you comfortable with using the race of the man, the skin colour of the man, making that public as well as the nationality?
Look, I think it's important that the police and the government are transparent about these things, because if there's any sense the police or the government are holding information back, it can allow misinformation to spread. We saw that tragically in the immediate aftermath of those awful Southport murders last summer, the summer of 2024, and the misinformation which then spread, some of it originating outside the UK, potentially from hostile states online on social media, led to riots. So I think being open and transparent about as much as possible is the right thing for the government and the police to do. OK,
really interesting suggestions coming forward from you this morning. Thank you very much for being on the programme, Chris Philp,
Thank you.
Shadow Home Secretary.